This Daf Yomi Yerushalmi Kilayim. The article also the edition when Daf on the base and Mav. We are at the two dots, which is a about 3, 6, 8 lines to the bottom. Noted Kishos, which in the Vilna is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lines above the Mishnah, above Halacha Hey, on Yud Zayin Amud Aleph. Okay, Note Adam Kishos. Person can plant, what the Mishnah said, could put about Kishos. The glass of Togum Achas, right? You can plant a Kishos and glass in one hole in the ground and still not be Kilayim. Says Gemara, Tani Mutu Adam Lasos talks today Guma Katana. Person can make in his field a small hole, a muka tefach deep, and to plant with them 4 seeds, and spread them in 4 different directions. Okay, so to the Mishnah, we elaborate on the Mishnah because it has two. In our Mishnah, it's talking about 2 minim, and here it's talking about 4 minim. So north, south, east, west, or whatever. You turn them each in one direction. Rabbi Kana and Shimon the Rashia, Shimon said, "Benotin l'chor v'shanu." That's only if beyond. There's nothing planted in the area beyond the hole which you put these 4 seeds. So they're not extending, cantilevering over anything else. Manaboy, Rabbi said, "Im b'notin l'chorba nitnei shmoina." If they're inclined towards a churba, it should be 8. Shnai mikan, shnai mikan, shnai mikan, shnai mikan. 2 and 2 and 2 and 2. The art's really Chaim, that's a picture. Joy. In the article is actually a more elaborate picture, but the picture in Reb Chaim is picture Samach Beis. That's how you get 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's the churba, that would be permissible. I guess if it's not a churba, they would not be permissible because they're 2 packed together. But if they're a churba, that would be okay. Okay. Gemara doesn't. Gemara says Rabbana boy. It sounds like a question, but in the Yerushalmi we know very often boy can mean a statement. So it could be he's making a statement saying, you know what, if it's a churva, not just 4 sides, but also in the corners, and obviously it's sufficiently different because one is on the side, to the corners, one on the side, to the corners. In other words, the orientations are different enough for that to be okay. Halacha. Now, in this halacha, the Chaim brings down 2 perushim throughout the entire halacha. One according to the Rash and the other according to the Rambam. We will go here according to the approach which he takes according to the Rambam. Welcome talking to Reb Chaim to see how he explains according to the Rash. If his field, person's field was planted with onions, because you wanted to plant a row of pumpkins, gourds inside. You uproot 2 shuros, and you plant 1 shura. And you leave a standing row of standing stalks of bitzalim of onions. B'makom shtei shuros, in place of 2 rows. V'oker shtei shuros, and you uproot another 2 rows. V'noter shura achas. Then you plant 1 row. So, according comes out that according to the Rabbi Yishmael, you need to have archaka between the dluim and the bitzolim of 2 amos in each direction, and we shall see a picture of this. Picture is I can't read what I wrote here. Sama Gimel. I assume it says Sama Gimel, because that's the next picture. Okay. And so you have the Luin over here. The Luin. Then you have Oker Shtei Shuros, take up 2 rows, which comes out to 8 amos. Then you have Botzel of 8 amos. Then you have 8 amos, and then you have Luin again. So the so what I say according to Rabbi Shmuel, you need to have a distance between the Luim and the B'tzolim of 2 amos on each side. It doesn't seem to be the case here. I have to take back what I said, perhaps. No, I have to take back the picture because I showed you the wrong the drawing because I showed you the wrong drawing. That drawing is according to the Rash. I'm going to Rambam's drawing, which is Nun Gimel over here. That's Sama Gimel, Nun Gimel. And here you have Muksha on this side, and you have Muksha on that side, and then you carve out 12 amos in the middle. 12 amos in the middle, and then you have 8 amos you can plant of onions. So you have 8 in the middle. When you carve out 12, so there are 2 on each side. That's the case according to Rabbi Shmuel, according to the Rambam. Okay, Rabbi Kiva Omer, Oker Shtei Shuros, V'noter Shtei Shuros. You uproot 2 rows, and you plant two rows. Miniach Kamas B'tzolim B'mokom Shtei Shuros. And then you leave the standing stalks of onions, place of 2 shuros. Focus Shtei Shuros, and then you uproot 2 shuros. The no tear Shtei Shuros, and then you plant another 2 shuros. And I said right here, I know I wrote here, everything which is 8 amos does not require a chok at all. Let's see the picture. Picture according to Rabbi Akiva. Let me just make sure I get the right number picture this time. I say the wrong one. Yep, it's this picture. You have here Muksha 8 amos, Botzel 8 amos, Muksha 8 amos. In between the Muksha and the Botzel, all you need, says Reb Chaim, is a tefach. Perhaps not even that. But the point is that's a minimal harchaka between the 2 of them. And here it has to, according to Rabbi Shmuel, they need harchaka. And harchaka is integral to actually making a patch in the middle of the other 2 patches. According to Rabbi Akiva, really need chashivas, the significance. And therefore it's nicker that it's not mixed together. So you don't need harchaka even 2 amos as long as it's nicker that these are separate patches, which is nicker as long as each one is at least 8 amos. Okay. Chachamim omrim, ein ben shul chaverta 12 amo lo yikayim zer shel ben asayim. They say it's similar to Rabbi Akiva, only that they require more planted area. I'm not sure we have a picture about this one. Yeah, it's basically the same picture. Only you have to have, it's 12 amos, like Rabbi Yishmael. But in the 12 amos in the middle, you can plant right up to the sides, or at least up to a tefach to the sides. So the distance gap is 12 amos, but you can plant the entire gap. You don't need to leave harchaka. So they, like Rabbi Akiva, they can plant the entire area in the middle, perhaps leave a tefach, but you don't have to. But like Rabbi Shmuel, that gap has to be 12 amos and not 8 amos. Okay. Says Gemara, Kana Amar. Divrei Shmuel, Kohen Shal Pamim Sheshes Pamim Shtemes Pamim Shmona. So they're different. It's going to differ depending on the situation. So, Kohen Rabbi Shmuel, B'shashu Nosen Kol HaAvoda Mivifnim Sheshes. So when you according to Reb Chaim. According to the other Mefarshim, there are 2 different interpretations here. Let's just go. No, we're going to do both. Okay, so first let's see Reb Chaim. That's our first minor. So the question is, to what area do you extend the foliage? In other words, the foliage can incline this way, incline that way, right? If you construction also call avoda, whenever you incline all the foliage, maybe name, towards the inside, then you need 60 amos. In other words, if you can put the foliage to the outside, you get away with 12. But you can't, if you're going to put all foliage facing towards the inside, so it's going to be too compact. If you only have 12, you have to have 16. If somehow you can put all of it facing out, then you can then you only need to have 8 amos. And there isn't any pictures of anything here. I see. So he says, according to the Rambam Shai says, when you put when all of the leaves incline inwards, and he says he calls that notim l'churva, goes churva towards the inside, because the 2 amos chorev in the middle. So you need 16 amos, 8 amos of onions between among the gourds, and 4 amos harchaka on each side because of the leaves which are extending into those gaps. So the gaps are extending. Since the leaves are extending into this churva over here, so 2 amos is not enough. These leaves are this way. These are leaves are this way. So you need over here more than 2 amos. You need to have 4 amos on each side. 4 amos here and 4 amos there. So that's the first case. If on one hand the leaves go into the row, or into the outside towards, not towards the inside but towards inside. The miksha leaves, the luin leaves go. If this is the onions in the middle, right? Luin here, luin there. So the leaves don't go towards the inside; they go over themselves on both sides. Then all you need is 12. Kulam bachutz. If oh no, sorry, that's only one side. It says if one side the leaves are inclined in towards the onions, and the other side inclined out away from the onions, then all you need is then you need 12. Kulam bachutz. If everything is inclined outwards, then all you need is 8. And in that case, you only need to have the 2 amos. So the 2 amos are there specifically because of the expanding leaves, which we have in the situation. That's according to Reb Chaim. That's his shot. So I have written inside of my Gemara. Most of them farshim, Rash Shno Salyo, the Marafulda and Levi Shleim interpret this kipshuto, nothing to do with the expansion of the leaves. Let's see if we can find representative interpretation here. Cyrillia. There's so many pictures in the article here. Okay, so Rashi says, according to Rabbi Shmuel, need between each row of the luim, 6 amos, such as when you make all the avodah bifnim, meaning all of the avodah, what avodah normally means, all the plowing, which you plow the field. Like we say, avodas hakarim is the plowing of a vineyard. And that air space for which you need for which you do the plowing, you leave between the row of onions and the row of gourds. Um, so then you need to have 4 amos in between, right? We need 16, which is 12 and 4, because each one requires 2 amos for the avoda. If you only put half the avoda outside, avoda for the plowing next to the luin outside, and avoda for the onions inside, so then you only need 12, right? 2 amos on the inside. How do you get to 8? That's a good question. Um, um, I guess when you leave the entire avoda on the outside, although I'm not sure that's going to work. But then you don't only have to have 8 in the middle. And the article has pictures here for all these scenarios. There you have on the bottom, you have the luin inside, and 4 amos in between, and then the 8 amos of the onions in the middle. And that was your dollar, and this is your on this page. There you have in the top one, you have 2 in the middle on each side of the onions and 2 on the outside, each side of the luin for plowing. And the last scenario, which I don't really get how it happens, but you have all of that avoda on the outside. 4 amos here, 4 amos there, and then you only have to have, you don't need any interruptions in the middle. And so I kind of found that difficult. But that is the way, that's the way the assumption is that there's some way of leaving the area, the plowed area, I guess, for the water to seep in or something like that, completely on the outside, and that is that case in which you only require 8 in the middle. Again, Kohen has to do with the expansion of the extension of the foliage, which of course by luim is very far, and how you extend that. That's what will determine how much gap you need in the middle. And that brings us to the top of Gimel. And Shmuel Amar. Okay, Shmuel. Should really just read Shmuel and come back tomorrow. Shmuel Olam Shtemasrei. It's always 12. Okay, we'll see. We'll explain this tomorrow.